Hello everyone, how are you all? I welcome you to Better You, Better Life, a self-improvement plan SIP podcast, season 1, episode 9. Before moving on to today's episode, let us have a brief recap about what we have discussed in our previous episode. We discussed about maintaining happiness, or let's say cultivating happiness in life. We shed light on the thought that happiness is a choice. It is within us. We can't seek it to external factors. For cultivating happiness, we have also discussed about certain simple practices which we can incorporate in our daily life, like mindfulness, meditation, choose to become happy, involve yourself in some kind of physical activity so that all those good hormones will be secreted in your body and your metabolism will make you feel good. We also discussed that happiness is not a destination, rather it is a journey that we need to experience and embrace it. Once we learn how to embrace happiness, no matter how difficult the situation is, we will always be able to navigate through it, through our experience and through happy state of life. Today's episode will be very small. Today I will start today's episode with an anecdote. I saw one of my employees were scolded bitterly by one of his bosses, and he just took things personally. I have been observing them, and especially my colleague who got scolded for entire day. He was so bogged down and he was so immersed in that scolding experience that he couldn't come out of it. Even though he was a good employee, he was an honest employee, but it was just that his day was not so good. Then one thought just prompted me that it is just a part of your life. It is not your life, right? Then why you need to take things personally? And that gives me today's podcast episode, that is, no matter how the situation is, we should not take anything personally. Our lifestyle is becoming so busy with day by day. Even doing daily chores are also becoming difficult. We are dependent on others, and also it is very much certain that a 100% result is not possible. With the emergence of digital gadgets in the market, we are observing that our attention span is reducing day by day, and this is also responsible for developing anxiety within ourselves, and hence it is giving rise to insecurities in our life. In this atmosphere of paranoia, we are struggling to keep up with even simple things needed for responding to stimuli around us. In situations where we need to react very calmly, we are reacting angrily. In the situations where we need to react with confronting the person or the situation, we are keeping quiet and just moving on. So our reflexes are getting messed up. And this is all because of all the complexities arising around us. That may be due to digital, due to psychological, due to whatever kind of company we are staying with, whatever information we are consuming through all the digital gadgets and other reasons. But it is also true that most of us are not thinking from within, and often we tend to take things very, very personally. Now, there could be various reasons of taking things so personally. For example, it may come out of some kind of criticism. Your critics might not give very good reviews about your work, about your conduct, about your productivity in the workplace. For that you might take it personally. Or it may appear that you are trying to convey some message to your senior management in your workplace, but somehow, even though you are right, your message was not understood by them properly, and hence it created some sort of misunderstanding. And as a result, the course of action made to take you things personally. It is also may come up with some sort of anger. Somebody is angry on you and insulted you in front of a mob or in front of a audience or in front of few group of people, and you might not feel good about it, and you will keep thinking about it and hence taking things personally. It might also appear that you might try to take revenge of what you are facing, and in the process you will take things personally in a more intense level. Or also sometimes somebody vents his frustration. You had nothing to do in his life, but still you were at the wrong place in the wrong time, and as a result you were facing the frustration vented by someone else, and thus things sometimes get personal. Now, as a response to the stimuli, in the heat of the moment, often we do things that were not meant to be. For example, if a gentle smile can bypass the situation, avoiding some kind of violence or some kind of debate, we didn't do. We are so agitated within ourselves that we will also give equal reaction, and thereby making the matter worse. So ultimately the matter will not be resolved, instead it will be dragged and it will become more complicated, and by the time we realize, we regret on our action. On the other hand, sometimes we will never react. Now there are some introvert people you will find around you who will simply tolerate all those kinds of nonsense, all those kinds of torture, and they will say not a single word against them, and they will make tolerance as their habit. Now, that is not a good sign of resistance or resilience, what we say. And all those introverts who are trying to tolerate all those torture or all those wrongdoings, maybe due to lack of self-confidence, or maybe due to lack of courage to take things head on. Or it may be also possible that they have some other important goals, so these kind of small undesirable outcomes doesn't really matter to them. This without a thought-based response sometimes proves to be immature. Sometimes in the heat of the moment we are so angry, agitated, or we lose our understanding that we tend to make some silly mistakes, or we tend to show some sort of immaturity. And sometimes it fills you in with guilt for not taking action as well. Sometimes few people think that it is a waste of energy and the focus needs to be shifted to other things, and we develop some kind of insecurities. So how to deal with these kind of situations where you can be thick-skinned enough to not to take things personally? As I was referring to my colleague's situation today in the office, I felt that if one does not react, or if one does not interrupt the other person and simply observe the situation, then I believe half of the problem will be solved. How? Because once you try to interrupt the person speaking or venting out in front of you, you are agitating him even more than before, and as a result he might do something which is not so beneficial for both the parties. So just maintain calm and just wait for your turn so that you can explain later on. And also, don't waste your energy. If you are not reacting, then the person who is venting in front of you or scolding you, he will automatically come down, because he will know that you are not a reactive person, and as a result his neurons will also settle down. You need not be reactive unless the situation proves fatal to you. Now, someone is warning you at a gunpoint, then definitely you have to do something. But I'm referring to workplace situations where every day you tend to face these kind of similar situations. Our idea should be to subtract problems instead of multiplying them. Sometimes with a cool head for thinking, or just bring that gentle smile to pass on the heat, because even though you are there in the path of that person, you need not to take all those bullshit on yourself. You can simply pass it on, just navigate through that time and just keeping a gentle posture without caring what others think of you. Now, if you try to mend every mistake of others, eventually it will become your mistake and people will start blaming you. And pushing off things is really powerful. Pushing off in the sense, it's not about shifting the blame on others' shoulders. Instead, just trying to finish the situation. It may be through some kind of mutual compromise, mutual talks. It can be in the form of win-win situation, like settling with the parties' requirement outcomes. And you will observe that you then escape attracting negative things. Your life will be settled and you will not feel agitated. And that is the reason why we should be little thick-skinned. Everything is not our accountability, so do not take things personally. Today I will finish this episode here with this wonderful thought. I hope this small episode was helpful for you. In the coming weeks, as I will be traveling, I will try to come up with some new skill or some new concept in order to develop better version of ourselves. Till then, I thank you so much for listening to my podcast. Till then, enjoy your weekend and I will see you next episode. Signing off.